Hi guys, welcome to Millennial Movie Fan Channel. My name's Tyler. Today's movie review is going to be for Ali, the Michael Mann 2001 film. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below and hit subscribe and the little notification bell. That way you get alerts when I post a new video. And also share this video around all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social media outlets. That really helps out the channel and spreads the word of what we do here, talking movies with each other and having fun doing it. Ali stars Will Smith as Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time. It also stars Jamie Foxx, Jeffrey Wright, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Giancarlo Esposito. Jon Voight is in this movie, although I didn't know that until I looked on IMDb and I saw that he is the one that plays Howard Cosell, which I couldn't even tell because it didn't look like him. I think he's got some prosthetics going on. I couldn't hear his voice either, and he talks different too, so you would think that his voice would be recognizable. He was not in this movie. I had no idea that Jon Voight played Howard Cosell, which had a great role in this film. He had a good friendship with Muhammad Ali, and he was a big part of his career, making him as successful as he was, the back and forth that they would have on television. This movie was interesting. I bought into Will Smith as Muhammad Ali. He picked up a lot of his mannerisms and the inflection in his voice really, really well. His speech pattern is unique, and obviously how he sounds is important to the character and important to why people gravitate towards him. So it was important to get that right, and I think Will Smith did a pretty good job. This is a long movie. It goes into most of Ali's career, his personal life, and a lot of the controversies that he was embroiled in for a lot of his life, especially in the later years as a retired boxer pushed into retirement because of everything that was going on socially in the world and at home in the U.S. So we see Ali's rise to the top of the boxing world, and we see him become champion. And he handles public life and being the champion a lot different than most boxers would, and than most of the people closest to him probably thought that he would. He's so outspoken and so well liked, and he came to stardom in a time of such turmoil where television was a big thing, and it was just hard for these famous people to not be caught up in what was going on politically and to not have an opinion. And they were pressured to believe certain things and to say certain things, and Ali just wasn't going to do that. He had too much pride and believed in what he believed in so strongly that he wasn't going to cave and just do the things he had to do and say what he had to say to continue boxing if it meant that he was going against everything he believed in. Ali was a black Muslim, which was the ire of a lot of hate from certain people at that time. And I didn't know that he was so close to Malcolm X and the relationship that they had. I have seen them in pictures before, but I didn't know that he had such an influence on his religious journey and him converting, eventually changing his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. Not only that, but Malcolm X was basically the biggest character in the movie besides Ali himself in his own film, and he's a larger than life personality in his own right. It's hard not to have him take the spotlight if Malcolm X is going to be in a movie. If it's not about Malcolm X, how does he not steal the light away from what the focus of the film actually is? And I think they did a good job. Muhammad Ali is equally now regarded and held up for his work in boxing and for what Malcolm X did for civil rights, even what Muhammad Ali did for civil rights. He's a legend in people's minds, so they did a decent job of having him not overshadow what was happening, but he actually pushed the story further because he was such an up close and personal influence on Ali. This movie covered everything from the Rumble of the Jungle to Ali's 3 wives. We see 2 of them in the story, and it mentions the 3rd one at the end. A lot could have been cut out. That's just my opinion. There wasn't a bad scene or bad scenes that didn't work in the story or could have been moved around, but things definitely could have been cut to help with the pace of the movie, keep people locked in to what was going on. A lot of it was set up that was kind of unnecessary and frivolous, like spending so much time on him meeting his second wife and how that goes with his kid. And I understand why they would want to include that and why he might want that included in a movie about him. But we see the relationship with the first wife, and we see that his management and people are like telling him kind of what to do, and we see that build throughout the movie. It does elevate that little side story to the next level, but he ends up cheating on her in the end, and we see that he gets remarried a year after he gets divorced from her, and that's just in one line at the end of the movie, like the very end of the movie. It's like a final title card that has like what's going on with him now, or in 2001 or whenever this came out. So I think they could have cut a lot of that aspect out, and it would have been okay, because it's still, we understand that he's married. They could just allude to that. They could have, after the fight, he's all beat up, the wife come up, kiss him on the cheek, and then she's, could still be like, I don't trust the management, keep them away, you don't need them, to do what they say. She could still have an influence, but it could have been just one scene instead of 20 minutes of the film or half hour. It felt like, I don't know, it definitely slowed the pace for me. That's the one thing I would have changed for this movie, but this movie is fantastic. Really great film. A lot of people that are now in some of the biggest shows and movies currently. Obviously, Will Smith's one of the biggest stars in the world, and this movie is one of the reasons why. His performance was incredible, and portraying this larger-than-life character, this man that is one of the greatest boxers of all time, but is one of the most charismatic people that ever walked the face of this earth. I love Muhammad Ali. This movie's pretty inspiring too, to see everything that he went through in his life. If you didn't know, you learn more about him and all the things he had to endure to stand up for what he believed in, and just to do what he wanted to do, or to not go to prison even. So that's my review for Ali, guys. Let me know what you thought down below. Hit the like button and share this video around to all your friends and family on Facebook, Twitter, and all the different social medias, like I said in the beginning. And you can hit subscribe and the little notification bell just to make sure that you don't miss out on a new Millennial Movie Fan review. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.